What's going on, baseball fans? How are we doing? So the Cleveland Guardians have been a very good team this year. So in this video, I'm going to break down why they've been so good and why I think they could be for real. Let's go talk about it. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at the current standings in the AL Central. And as you can see, the Cleveland Guardians are in a tie for first place with the Minnesota Twins with a record of 35-28, playing great baseball lately, winning 8 out of their last 10. Let's go back in time a little bit. Let's go to the preseason odds on Fangraphs, and they were not very kind to Cleveland, only giving them a 15.2% chance of making the playoffs and only a 7.5% chance of winning the division. And actually, I disagreed with these. I thought Cleveland was a solid team coming into this year. They had a lot of fun players, a lot of promise, a lot of depth in that organization. And actually, if we go to my preseason predictions, I had the Guardians finishing with a record of 91-71. And right now, they're on pace to win 92 games. So it's looking like this prediction is holding up well, at least for right now. Now, I did have the White Sox winning the division, not playing great this year, but they are playing a little better lately. So who knows? Maybe it can shake up this way. So let's go to the current Fangraph odds. If we go take a look at Fangraphs, currently they're giving them a 47.4% chance of making the playoffs and a 29.4% chance of winning the division. So what is going on with Cleveland this year? If we go take a look here, when it comes to WRC plus, Cleveland, middle of the road, 17th overall, a 100 WRC plus. Nothing special, not bad by any means, but nothing special. Pretty middle of the road. Now, if we take a look at, some of these guys with Cleveland. Now, if you take Jose Ramirez out of this lineup, this team really struggles offensively. So, thank God they got Jose Ramirez here. This guy's having a phenomenal season. He was actually my preseason MVP pick. So, can Jose Ramirez, come on, man, pick up the pace here. I need you to start. Come on, you can win that MVP, Jose. Come on. But Andres Gimenez, really solid season this year. Josh Naylor's contributing. Owen Miller has been a nice surprise this year after struggling last year. They just got a lot of different guys contributing. Even Stephen Kwan this year, he was my Rookie of the Year pick. I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's having a really solid year, getting on base at a really solid rate. So besides Jose Ramirez, they do have other guys contributing, but Jose Ramirez is clearly the star of the show. Now, because of this, they're not going to rank very well offensively, at least with the juicy stats like WRC+, but they do a lot of small things really well. First of all, they're number 1 in contact percentage. So they're putting the ball in play, and when you're putting the ball in play, a lot of things can happen. Next, with Cleveland, they don't strike out a lot. That's a very good thing in my opinion. When you're not striking out, you're not wasting outs, and Cleveland is taking advantage of every single out that they have. So to make up for the lack of star power in that lineup, they're making contact, they're not striking out. I really like that about Cleveland. And another thing about Cleveland is that they just run the bases really well. They're 4th overall in base running. I love just that Cleveland, they're doing all the small things, and I think that is going to go really far with them with their offense this year. Another thing I like about the Guardians this year is their defense. And earlier I talked about how they do the small things really well, but another thing that I like that they do is that they play just good fundamental baseball and they just play some good defense. I love me a team that has some good defense. And as you can see here, they rank 1st overall this year in defensive runs saved with 44 at the moment. If we go take a look here when it comes to catching, they rank 5th overall in defensive runs saved there. If we take a look at second base, they rank 3rd overall there. Andres Gimenez has a very good glove. Even Ahmed Rosario has been pretty solid. At shortstop, they rank 7th overall in defensive runs saved. And in center field, they rank 2nd overall. Miles Straw playing good defense out there. Now, why am I highlighting these positions? Well, this is the up-the-middle defense. Catcher, second base, shortstop, center field. The spine of this team defensively is very strong. And in my opinion, I think every good team needs to be very strong up the middle. I don't see how Cleveland's going to slow down here. Their defense is going to be strong all season. You know what else I like about Cleveland this year? Their bullpen. If we take a look at Fangraph WAR, they currently rank 10th overall. This bullpen has been so good. Emmanuel Clase getting a good amount of saves so far. 16 saves over 31 games, a 1.53 ERA, a 1.86 FIP, but also Eli Morgan has really stepped up as a setup guy for them. he is having himself a huge season. Take a look at these numbers with Eli Morgan. Over 20 games, a 1.74 ERA, 2.51 FIP. Look at the strikeout to walk ratio. 11 strikeouts to 1 walk. Are you kidding me? Those are really solid numbers. Sam Hentges, their other setup guy, 22 games, a 1.57 ERA, 2.56 FIP, 10.5 strikeouts per 9, 1.5 walks per 9. Really solid numbers. Even middle relief has been pretty good for the most part. Brian Shaw, De Los Santos have been pretty solid. You got Anthony Gose putting up some decent numbers this year. I love this bullpen, man. Let's take a look at some individual numbers. If we take a look here, when it comes to ERA, they rank second overall with a 2.86 ERA. With wins, they are fourth overall. This Cleveland bullpen, they are helping them win a lot of games. If we go take a look here, when it comes to strikeouts per 9, they're fifth overall with a 9.8. If we take a look at home runs per 9, they're not giving up a ton of home runs, under 1 home run per 9. That ranks 12th overall. And if we take a look at how many guys they're leaving on base, they rank second overall in left on base percentage with a 76.1, only behind Houston here. I love this Cleveland Guardians bullpen. I think it's going to keep being strong for the rest of the year. Now, there is one area of this team that I think could use a bit of a boost, and that's the starting pitching, but it hasn't been bad by any means. Let's take a look at the rotation as of right now. You got Bieber at the top, Savali, McKenzie, Plesac, and Quantrill. These guys have been putting up some pretty decent numbers. Look at Shane Bieber over 13 starts, a 3 ERA, a 2.70 FIP, 9.5 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9, under a home run per 9. Really solid numbers for Bieber. Quantrill, he's been pretty solid too, a 3.77 ERA, 4.26 FIP, 12 starts, over 70 innings. Now, with Plesac and Savali, these guys, to me, they're not great options here. I mean, I guess Plesac is okay, but if you're looking at Savali, man, I mean, ERA in the 7s, he just hasn't really been able to produce all that much for Cleveland. He was okay in his last start against the Twins. He gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, over 5 innings, so hopefully he's trending in the right direction. I do think Cleveland could use another guy. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let's point out just a couple of numbers here. If we take a look at Cleveland, one thing I do like about their starting pitching is they don't walk a lot of guys, right around 2.5 walks per 9 overall. That ranks them 9th overall. And if we take a look at their home run to fly ball ratio, actually really solid, 5th overall, not giving up a ton of home runs. Now, I do think you could make an upgrade to this rotation. That bullpen has been very good this year, but I would hate for that bullpen to get overworked. I think they could use another guy. Maybe someone like Luis Castillo, not too far away in Cincinnati. Maybe you could make a trade for him. You got Frankie Montes out there. You got Tyler Mahle also on the Cincinnati Reds. Could those guys be some options? And another thing I like about this team, I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, is the organizational depth. You got a lot of good prospects in this system. Now, some of these guys could end up coming up and really giving them a boost at the major league level, but maybe some of these guys could also be used in a trade. Either way, I think Cleveland is set up nicely for the rest of the season. But those are my thoughts on the Guardians. I think they're a really solid team. I think they're going to keep being a solid team. I've been thinking that ever since this season started. But tell me what you think down below. Do you think Cleveland's for real? Do you think they're going to fall off eventually? Or do you think they're going to keep being a strong team for the rest of the season? But that's all I have for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.